Welcome to the Holistic Living Podcast, my beautiful friends. You can expect my uncensored, real, and honest thoughts on a wide variety of health topics. If you love to learn on ways to improve your health, your life, your mindset, your emotions, and everything in between in a natural way, you are in the right place, and I am so excited to have you here. Hey, welcome back to the Holistic Living Podcast. Today we are talking about making fitness a priority in your life. Bear with me on this one. I know as soon as people hear fitness or exercise, they just want nothing to do with it, but I really want to drive home an important message. This podcast is going to be short and sweet, so I hope that you enjoy. This topic came to me when I was recently messaging someone through social media, and they were having some health issues, mainly pertaining to their mobility and their bone health and things like that. And I had mentioned to them, maybe consider exercising, as they previously didn't do any form of exercise and they never really did. And the first thing they said to me was, I'm so busy. I work full time. I just don't have time. And the conversation continued from there, but right away, I knew I was going to make a podcast topic on this because it's something that I hear day in and day out for my entire life, really. I remember even growing up, relatives, close family friends, like most people who were not active, whenever we brought up the topic of being active, it was always like, oh, that's a luxury. Oh, it must be nice to have all this time to exercise. It must be nice to have all this time to go for a run, etc. And so it's something I've always heard, and I'm sure all of us have heard someone say that, or we ourselves have said it. And I want to really shift our thought process around fitness. I am not a fitness professional. I am not a personal trainer, but I am a person who absolutely loves to move my body. I always have since I was super young. I was extremely active, always playing sports, always moving my body in some way or another, even during my pregnancy, up until my labor day, and as soon as I could postpartum, I was always moving. So for me, it's just naturally been something that I've loved. And I think the reason why I personally love being so active was because it started in my childhood years. I was in love with moving my body because I started out doing sports. For me, like even just getting our family together and playing a soccer game was so much fun. You're getting the best cardio and exercise, but you're having fun doing it. And so it kind of wasn't like something I felt I had to do. It wasn't boring. It was just, I'm going to go out and do sports and have fun. And by running or doing these things, hiking, whatever I was doing, I was falling in love with physically being active. And then when I would go for any period of time without being active, I just wouldn't feel good. And so I was really thankful that I was, starting out at a young age, getting tongue-tied, starting out at a young age, being active, as I really think that's what helped me stay active throughout my life. And even when I was in high school, university, I was always doing fun type of fitness. Like it was going to be biking, or we were doing hikes or major sports. I would do so much basketball, volleyball, like just something that was getting your heart rate up, but in a fun way. And then little by little, I started going to the gym and lifting weights as well, because I thought maybe I can get stronger, and it just kind of progressed from there. So I've always loved it. So it has naturally come easy to me. I've never been the person that you would have to drag me to move my body or drag me to the gym. But I know a lot of people do struggle with that, with moving their bodies. And I don't even want to say the motivation, because I feel like some people even have motivation and they still won't do it. I think it just comes down to it's difficult. And if it's not something you've always done, it is extremely hard to get ourselves into the gym, or even not in the gym, but off the couch and moving our bodies at home or going for a walk. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's not fun. It's not fun to have your heart rate so high you feel like you can't breathe at all. But it is necessary. And I want to share a message with you now that I think we need to say to ourselves every single day to drive it into us. And we need to say it to our children and to our friends and our family, and let everybody hear this message, that fitness is not a luxury. People see fitness as something that is, again, a luxury, something that they will do if they happen to have the time or the energy. It's not something that they say, I have to do this. It's something that is, I just don't have the time. And if I do, then great. So it's more of like a back burner task versus something that is vital. And that's really where we have gone wrong. If you think about it, since the beginning of time for humans, we have been extremely active, whether it was literally hunting and gathering our own food or doing some kind of, extreme form of labor, building physically with our own hands, our home, literally pick by pick, building roads and developing parts of the world that have had no development prior, cutting down trees, whatever it was. People from the beginning of time have been extremely active. It is not until recently, I would say the past century or even less than that people have little by little become lazier and lazier. And I don't mean to sound harsh or judgmental. That's not it. What we are seeing though is kids just not wanting to move. They want to sit in front of a screen and watch TV or play video games. We're seeing adults do the same thing. People are not wanting to do things that are difficult anymore. People want an easy life. They want things to come to them. And I think it's a really toxic way to be and a toxic way to think because it passes on to our children and to those around us. And little by little, it's affecting everyone. And we, again, start to say, we don't need to move our bodies. We can, it's a luxury if we have the time, but it's not something that I'm going to make time for. When we see it like that, this is where the disease process begins. Because if you think of all the modern diseases that we have, majority of them are coming down to what? Excess weight. So obesity is one of the biggest risk factors for cancer, for heart disease, and so many other things. You see cholesterol issues. A lot of this issues that people are having are issues with mobility. And some people can't even walk once they hit the age of 50, 60 without excruciating pain. We have osteoporosis and so many other conditions, bone density issues. All of this is coming back to the fact that people are not utilizing their bodies daily, day in and day out, and pushing their bodies to keep them healthy and strong. If you, see how people, still currently live, but especially, a few decades back or more, they are, especially in other countries too. I feel like North America specifically it's terrible, but like North America has really just has become like a diseased country. Everyone's sick. Everybody has 1,000,001 health issues. Everyone's on 1,000,000 pills. Everybody has depression or anxiety. Almost nobody's moving their bodies or eating healthy except a very small percentage. And we obviously have the biggest disease rates and everything like that, and biggest health issues. But if you go to other countries, Vietnam, anywhere, Philippines, they are, especially the people living near the mountains, like they're climbing these mountains, they're walking, they're literally gathering and hunting their food. They are exercising physically, elevating their heart rate physically every single day. And you see these people and how old they live until, and they're like hitting 120 years old. The difference from these people and everyone else is obviously they have a good diet too, but the biggest thing is they are active. And when you like see these videos or these stories of people interviewing these centurions, they are saying that, they're like, what's the secret? You look so young, you don't look your age. You're still more mobile than people we know that are 40 and 50 years old. And they're saying the thing is we don't stop moving. We exercise. We're moving our bodies. And it is so crucial. Like, how do you expect to have a long and healthy life if we are sedentary and stagnant? When things are stagnant, they die. When things are not moving and flowing, they break down and wither. So you see, a tree, when it is blowing in the wind, when there's a tree growing in a very windy area, and I can say, where we live, it's like a vortex. It's insane winds out in my area. You see how strong those trees are, how thick the branches are. It's from that continuous like pressure that the trees are going through so much pressure under the wind that they are getting stronger to resist. And human body's the same way. The more pressure you're putting your muscles and your bones under, the more dense they're going to become. So you are going to build that bone density. You're going to strengthen your joints. Things will get stronger as a result of the pressure, aka the weight, the movement. Anyway, so, seeing that disease has just taken over, and by people being so sedentary, and I think it started where people decided that fitness is not a priority, but a luxury. It started as, industrialization came about and things became more modernized. So we no longer had to go out and hunt our own meat. People started growing them on farms and selling them in stores. We stopped having to, go and hand make our own clothes. But first we have to go and get the wool off the sheep. No, now we can just go to a store and buy the fabrics. And of course, modernization is incredible. And I'm so grateful for it. And I'm grateful that we live in these times. But when we start to lose the things that we are needing to keep our body healthy, we start to lose these certain skills. Majority of people are not going to pick these skills up again. They're not going to just voluntarily put themselves through something difficult. They should be, but most people aren't. And again, it's this culture that we've formed where people need instant gratification. People need an easy life. Nobody wants to go through anything hard anymore. And if they do, they immediately get into victim mentality. And it's just this whole culture that we've kind of established, and it seems to be getting worse. Maybe now, actually, I should say things are maybe looking up a little bit. I think people are getting a little bit healthier and more active again. But in general, like the mindset of everyone has just gotten so much worse, where people need medals and awards for doing the bare minimum. Instead of pushing themselves to do better, to be better for their families, they do the bare minimum and they need a round of applause. And again, it's this whole culture that has gotten us to this point where we are seeing moving our body as something that is not necessary. So we're sitting down on our couches, we are laying down in our beds, we're sitting in our cars driving to and from work, and there's very, very little movement. We can't be bothered to pick up a few weights or to run a few miles or to bike a few miles. We can't be bothered to do anything active, but we're paying the price for it with our health, with our disease. And the thing is too, when you lose something, it is so much harder to get it back. It is easier to maintain than it is to try to get something back. So if you're young and you are running and you're building up your stamina, or you're lifting weights, you don't even have to do anything crazy. But if you are young and you're maintaining what you naturally have and naturally are given, versus doing nothing until you're 60 years old and then realize I should probably be moving my body a bit, it is so hard to get back that stamina, that muscle mass, that bone density that you once had. So I am sharing this message as a way to get people to shift how they're thinking. And there are people in my family, people very close to me, that I say this to all the time. I'm like, you need to move your body. How do you expect your body to be healthy? Our bodies are designed and created to be active. You see, incredible. My favorite thing is to watch Olympians, because they impress the shit out of me. They are incredible. When you see the drive and determination that they have, but more importantly, the speed, the strength, the skill, the talent, and obviously they worked hard for it. It's incredible. But what's more incredible to me when I'm watching an Olympian is what the human body can do. When I am watching these women and men sprint at an insane pace, do hurdles and do incredible stunts, snowboarding and all these things, you're watching them and you're like, how can humans do this? This is incredible. But then you think, at least I think, well, our bodies are obviously designed to do incredible things. I personally believe in God. So I know God made us in his image and likeness and to be incredible. And our bodies are not used. It's so sad. We let our bodies waste away, and we are not developing the abilities. Not that you have to be an Olympian and that you have to sprint like crazy and do these crazy things, but to know that you are capable of that, or at least potentially capable of a tenth of that, and to not strive to try and at least, build some stamina and some strength and muscle, it kind of blows my mind. I'm like, when you really know, like, humans were designed to be, for our bodies were designed to move and to lift and to push and to run and all this stuff, and we just do nothing with it. It's just kind of crazy because people are like, oh, I don't understand why my health is so bad and things are plummeting and I'm on tons of medication. But really, they're just sitting down all day and they're not wanting to move their bodies. And again, it comes back to the fact that, first of all, we don't see fitness as something that needs to be done. We see it as something that I will make the time if I have it. And most people, again, won't. So it's a luxury versus a priority. And then the second thing is that mindset of, I don't want to do anything difficult. I want to be comfortable all the time. So I'm not going to push myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm not going to, do something that's going to challenge me, like heading to the gym, running, lifting weights. Again, it doesn't matter how you're moving your body, just that you are doing it. Most of us are not going to put ourselves through that difficulty because we want to stay on our comfy couch, and that's it. And so little by little by little, our body is deteriorating, our muscles and our bones are deteriorating, our health is deteriorating, and we will blame it on every single thing except our lack of movement. So I am hoping that, please share this message too, but I'm hoping that little by little we are doing what we can to inspire our children, that next generation, to be fit and active. It is the one thing I will make sure I do every single day, is I make sure my kids are moving their bodies, and I make it fun at a young age so that they don't feel like it's something that is brutal and a chore. Although even if it is brutal and a chore, if it's good for us, I feel like we should do it anyway. But that's besides the point. I'm stimulating their love and their excitement for fitness at a young age so that hopefully as they get older, they keep these habits just like I was able to do. And I bring them to the gym with me. If I'm working out from home, they will always join in on the workout. We are always going for hikes as a family and bike rides and whatever we can to stay active and healthy. And I make it clear to them what happens if they don't, what happens to their body if they don't. I make it clear that our bodies are designed to move, and if we are sedentary and stagnant, our health will become stagnant as well. So making health a priority, making fitness a priority, as it's a huge part of our health, looks like waking up an hour earlier. If you happen to work a 9 to 5 and you know that there's no way you're going to get to the gym after work because you need to come home and eat and feed the kids and do this and that, get up an hour earlier and go to the gym. Don't even go to the gym. Work out in your basement. You can do so many amazing guided YouTube video type of workouts, and that are amazing and great, and is better than nothing. If you are working at a desk most of the day, find times either between emails at work or before work or after work to get some steps in. Go up and down some stairs in your home or at work. There is, I should say, almost never an excuse to not move your body. You see people, like I should say, I have some really good friends who work shifts. So who are nurses and are working 12 to 12, or who are firefighters or policemen, people who are working around the clock, and they still find time to sneak in a workout. So you know that it's possible. It's hard, but it's possible. And if you see it like it's for you, it's essential that you eat. It's essential that you drink. Why? To give your body fuel, hydration, so it can function. You should see fitness like that. It's essential that you move your body. Why? To improve your circulation and to give your body the tools and the ability to maintain its muscle mass, its bone density, all of that. If you lose that, you start to deteriorate. You will start to notice you can't go up a flight of stairs without extreme pain. Little by little, you will need a cane as you get older, or a wheelchair or a scooter or whatever it might be. So really making it as just as important as eating and drinking, that's what fitness should be. And if it's that important, just like if no matter how busy you are in your day, you will find some time to eat. You might skip one meal, but you will find some time to eat in a day and drink. The same thing goes for fitness. It doesn't have to be a huge workout, but you can find some time to do something. Even if you're tired, even if you're overwhelmed, finding that time to move your body, it can be done 100%. Obviously, there might be days where you're sick or days where, you know, your life is exceptionally difficult. If you have children who desperately need you and they're going through something, you might need a day or two or a week off. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm not saying every single day the rest of your life has to be crazy intense working out, but consistency, you know, having a few days a week where you are prioritizing moving your body. If that does mean taking a little bit of less beauty sleep or cutting back a bit on Netflix or social media scrolling, or maybe having a quicker dinner instead of making something a little bit more elaborate, or cutting out an extracurricular that maybe is not as important as your fitness. Just finding the time in the schedule, shifting things around, whatever it means to get a workout in, that's what you need to do. Obviously, there's times too, you know, when I had just had my baby. I have 4 kids and life is crazy. And at one point I was homeschooling. Up until last year, I was homeschooling all of them. And I know after I had my babies, for the first 6 weeks when you can't exercise or do much, I was still walking and stuff, but I was taking that time to just relax and soak in, you know, my new baby and new life. Once I got the okay from my doctor to get back to the gym and start working out, for me, I had diastasis recti and a whole bunch of problems. So I actually didn't get the okay until closer to 12 or 14 weeks postpartum. Once I was like, I'm ready to get back, finding time was the absolute hardest because the baby was crying constantly. I was nursing constantly. I had 3 other kids to homeschool and take care of. I had a full-time business to run. I had all of our food to make from scratch because I can't have a lot of foods, and, you know, keeping our home clean and maintaining friendships and seeing the family and all the other things. So life was absolutely hectic. It still is. What I ended up doing was, yes, taking time out of my sleep. I would stay up a little bit later, no matter how desperate I needed to shut my eyes. I was like, I am going to move my body. No matter how much I wanted to just crash on the couch and watch a movie, I was like, first, I'm going to move my body a little bit, not to push myself to extremes, not to lose precious sleep that my body needs to heal, but just to give my body some circulation, some movement, get my lungs to work a little bit, because I know in the long run that's going to help my health. And so in the beginning, I didn't have an hour or 2. I had 15 minutes, and that's what I did. And little by little, as my son is older, he's 1 year and 3 months now. It's been hard, but thankfully I've been having some help, so I'm able to do this. I started to take more and more time for myself to be able to move my body at the gym. And every stage of your life is going to look different. If your stage right now, you're in the trenches, you don't need to spend hours in a gym. You can literally do a 15-minute workout, and it's better than what you're currently doing, which is 0. You can always increase the duration of your workouts and the intensity as you get out of the trenches and have more time in life. But to just completely throw it out the window and say, I'll do it if I can, or, you know, it's a luxury, I don't need to do it, I might do it. That's the worst mindset to have, because it'll just never happen. You'll never get to a point, for most people, where you'll just end up working out and staying consistent with it. So shift that mindset. I know this topic can be sensitive to a lot of people, but I do really want to just drive that message home that fitness is not a luxury. It is not something that you should do, but maybe won't. It's something that you have to do. It can look different for everyone. It can be a walk around your neighborhood. It doesn't matter, but just to move your body is a must, and push yourself through it. Don't do something that is way too easy and is not stressing your lungs out a little bit. Get that heavy breathing going. Get the heart pumping. Break a sweat. Do something that's pushing you, as that's how you're going to keep your cholesterol low, keep your heart strong, keep your joints strong, keep your bones strong, etc. So that's it for me, guys. That was my mindset shift around fitness. Like I said, these new podcasts are going to be helping you level up your health and your life, but getting you to mainly shift the mindset around things to achieve the health goals that you want to achieve. So I hope that you enjoyed. Please share this podcast with your friends and family. And I do take podcast requests, so you can message me through Instagram and let me know if there's a specific topic you would like me to touch on. I hope you guys have a beautiful day or night wherever you are listening from, and I will talk to you in the next episode.